Meghan Markle's post-royal journey into Hollywood was supposed to be the stuff of legend, a seamless transition from palace corridors to red carpets, from royal protocols to star-studded deals, and from media fascination to full-blown celebrity mogul status. With streaming projects, high-profile collaborations, and a meticulously crafted public persona, Meghan appeared ready to dominate the entertainment world. She envisioned herself as a cultural influencer with the clout to shape both media and philanthropy, projecting the perfect combination of sophistication, activism, and glamour. Yet, just as her Hollywood ambitions seemed poised to soar, a new force emerged on the scene: Kris Jenner, the ultimate architect of celebrity empires. Meghan's carefully plotted trajectory suddenly encountered a roadblock she hadn't anticipated: a strategic master whose experience and network threatened to overshadow every move she thought she controlled. For Meghan, the move from royalty to Hollywood powerhouse was more complicated than she imagined. While her royal fame opened doors, the inner workings of Tinseltown are a different universe altogether, one where relationships, influence, and timing matter more than titles or social cachet. Unlike palace life, Hollywood operates in a fast-moving, high-stakes environment where missteps can derail careers overnight, and alliances are as fragile as they are essential. Meghan's initial confidence in leveraging her global visibility quickly collided with the harsh realities of the entertainment world, where executive favors are hard-earned, competition is fierce, and seasoned insiders hold the real power. She soon realized that navigating Hollywood required not just fame, but an intimate understanding of its hierarchy, politics, and the subtle art of persuasion, a lesson that Kris Jenner was all too ready to teach, whether Meghan liked it or not. Kris Jenner is more than just a manager. She is a strategic juggernaut whose intuition for opportunity, timing, and influence has transformed her family into a veritable empire. With decades of experience turning public interest into tangible power, she has mastered the delicate balance between media manipulation and strategic alliances, ensuring that every venture she touches maximizes both visibility and profit. Jenner's entry into Meghan's Hollywood orbit was subtle at first, appearing as casual advice or industry networking, but behind the scenes, she was consolidating influence and aligning powerful stakeholders in ways Meghan had not anticipated. Suddenly, Meghan found herself competing with a figure whose skill in maneuvering Hollywood's corridors of power was not just formidable, but legendary, signaling that Meghan's carefully planned ascent would face intense scrutiny and unprecedented challenges. The first signs of Meghan's Hollywood plan unraveling became apparent during high-profile meetings with executives at major streaming services and production companies. Confident that her name alone could secure deals, she was blindsided by Kris Jenner's preemptive moves, which had already positioned Jenner-backed projects as higher priorities. The subtle, almost invisible game of influence shifted against Meghan, leaving her scrambling to assert relevance while contending with Jenner's decades-long network of loyal industry players. Every pitch Meghan made, every proposal she submitted, was measured against Jenner's entrenched influence. And for the first time, Meghan encountered the reality that Hollywood success demanded more than star power. It required strategy, leverage, and a deep understanding of the unspoken rules that govern every deal, handshake, and negotiation. As Meghan pushed forward with her ambitious projects, she began to experience the consequences of overreach. Opportunities that had initially seemed within her grasp, exclusive collaborations, high-budget productions, and influential partnerships, started slipping away, often without explanation. Industry insiders whispered that Jenner's subtle interventions had redirected attention and resources toward her own preferred projects, leaving Meghan to confront the hard truth that fame alone could not secure deals. Her brand, built carefully over years of media exposure and strategic public appearances, began to feel vulnerable as Hollywood's unforgiving ecosystem magnified each misstep. Meghan's struggle illuminated a critical lesson. Without seasoned guidance or a strategic alliance, even global recognition could falter against the nuanced dynamics of Hollywood power plays. Hollywood operates on perception and influence rather than protocol or title, a reality Meghan confronted with every meeting and negotiation. Her attempts to assert authority without a seasoned Hollywood strategist were often misinterpreted as overconfidence or naivety, creating friction with producers, executives, and even collaborators who expected a more nuanced approach. Meanwhile, Kris Jenner's calculated maneuvers highlighted Meghan's gaps in strategy, turning what was supposed to be a smooth transition into a public demonstration of vulnerability. Each move Meghan made was scrutinized, and every decision risked being overshadowed by Jenner's invisible hand in the industry. The tension between ambition and execution became increasingly evident, leaving Meghan in a precarious position where each professional step carried the potential for both opportunity and setback. As Meghan's Hollywood efforts collided with Kris Jenner's influence, the media swiftly amplified the drama. Headlines splashed across news outlets and social platforms framed the story as a power struggle between the former Duchess and the Kardashian matriarch, igniting a frenzy of speculation and debate. Social media buzzed with comparisons, critiques, and conspiracy theories about Meghan's ability to succeed outside the royal spotlight. Every misstep was magnified, and every challenge was interpreted as evidence of faltering influence. In an environment where public perception is as critical as actual success, Meghan found herself navigating a double bind, managing both her professional ambitions and the increasingly scrutinized narrative surrounding her every move, all while contending with Jenner's quiet, strategic dominance behind the scenes. As the story unfolded, public sentiment began to evolve in ways Meghan had not anticipated. Admirers who once lauded her boldness in leaving royal life and taking on Hollywood now questioned her judgment and capacity to navigate the entertainment world independently. Meanwhile, Kris Jenner's reputation as the consummate dealmaker and behind-the-scenes strategist grew, reinforcing the perception that Meghan's rise was being eclipsed by Jenner's expertise. In an industry obsessed with optics, the public began to conflate visibility with influence, and Meghan's carefully cultivated image, part activist, part celebrity, was increasingly overshadowed by Jenner's narrative of strategic mastery. This shift in perception created additional pressure on Meghan to adapt quickly or risk her Hollywood ambitions being permanently sidelined. The growing tension revealed vulnerabilities in Meghan's network of advisors and collaborators. Some who initially championed her vision began reconsidering their support, wary of aligning with someone whose Hollywood influence was increasingly questioned. Deals were no longer just about creativity or vision. They were about strategic positioning, and Jenner's subtle dominance highlighted how fragile alliances could be when the stakes were high. Meghan was forced to reevaluate not only her partners, but also her methods, understanding that in Hollywood, relationships are often transactional and loyalty can be conditional, requiring both tactical savvy and humility to maintain influence and secure meaningful opportunities. Meghan's brand, a hybrid of royal sophistication, Hollywood glamour, and activist credibility, faced an unprecedented challenge as Jenner's involvement in overlapping projects forced her to reconsider messaging, partnerships, and public-facing narratives. Every announcement, every project, and every social media move now carried increased scrutiny, and the margin for error shrank dramatically. Jenner's expert positioning had created a high bar that Meghan was suddenly measured against, forcing her to consider not just the content she produced, but the optics, timing, and strategic alignment of each endeavor. Maintaining relevance in Hollywood meant recalibrating a brand that had previously relied heavily on notoriety and personal appeal, now integrating strategic planning into every decision. This collision of worlds offered Meghan a sobering lesson. Influence, fame, and recognition are insufficient without an acute understanding of power dynamics, strategy, and leverage. Kris Jenner's intervention exposed gaps in Meghan's approach, highlighting that Hollywood success demands more than visibility. It requires anticipation, tactical foresight, and the cultivation of relationships with the right stakeholders. Meghan was now confronting the reality that her past achievements, royal or otherwise, could not automatically translate to success in an industry governed by unspoken rules and invisible hierarchies. The experience became a crucible, testing her adaptability, resilience, and willingness to evolve under pressure. Despite the disruption, Meghan's Hollywood story is far from over. With her resources, platform, and global recognition, she retains the capacity to regroup, re-strategize, and reclaim control, but only if she acknowledges the lessons learned and adjusts her approach. Strategic alliances, careful project selection, and mentorship from experienced industry players will be essential if she hopes to compete on equal footing with seasoned figures like Kris Jenner. The coming months are pivotal, determining whether Meghan can pivot effectively and transform setbacks into opportunities, or if Hollywood will become a cautionary tale of ambition outpacing preparation. The stakes are high, and the outcome remains uncertain, but the drama, strategy, and lessons are already shaping a compelling narrative of reinvention and resilience. Meghan Markle's Hollywood journey is a story of ambition, disruption, and power, where the collision of royal fame and Hollywood strategy has created a dramatic struggle that is still very much in motion. Kris Jenner's intervention revealed the limitations of fame alone and the necessity of strategic mastery in navigating the entertainment world. For Meghan, this chapter underscores the challenges of adaptation, the importance of alliances, and the high stakes of public perception in shaping a lasting legacy. As the story continues, fans and insiders alike watch with anticipation, knowing that in Hollywood, no dream is ever guaranteed, and every move counts toward either triumph or setback.